Of the longest government shutdown in U.S. history could be in sight after a rare bipartisan moment in Washington. On the 40th day of the shutdown, 8 senators in the Democratic caucus crossed the aisle to advance a deal that would fund the government for the next 2.5 months.
Well, we're waiting to see what happens next because Senate magic dictates that if all of them agree to speed this process along, then they'll speed it along. If not, there's a bunch of procedural hurdles and waiting periods that have to be adhered to here in the Senate to ultimately pass the final version of the deal that they voted on last night. At this point, what we saw is the fact that this new deal would fund the federal government through the end of January. So for those folks who had fun doing it this time, we're likely to do it to start off next year as well. And then, of course, there's some other caveats in this, that White House shutdown layoffs, those rifts that we heard so much about would be reversed, that there would be back pay for federal workers, and, of course, guaranteeing a Senate vote next month on the expiring ACA tax credits. That was at the heart of this, and it's also where a lot of the Democratic consternation comes, Anna, because many of them feel that they fought for so long and didn't ultimately get enough. It's the question that some of the key moderate Democrats who brokered this deal and voted for it are answering now this morning and late last night.
I expect Republicans to be at the table in the next few weeks. I expect the White House to be at the table. And if they do choose not to come to the table, they can own the disastrous premium increases that will continue to rise.
We have a guaranteed vote by a guaranteed date on a bill that we will write. Not that the Republicans will write.
As of this morning, there was a 0 chance of having a work on the ACA. Now there's a measurable chance.
And I just spoke with another of those Democratic senators who was part of brokering this deal, who voted for it. It's Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia. I asked him on Morning Joe what he would say to his Democratic colleagues who don't think that they got enough after fighting and holding the line for so long. He said, did holding out for 40 days change the Republican posture? No. He felt that this was the best way to reverse the damage of the shutdown on RIFs, on SNAP, on other things, while also being able to lay a marker on health care come December. I think that's one of the key things that, as we watch the reaction continue to trickle out here on Capitol Hill, a lot of ire, but also the realization, was this ever going to end any other way? And I think that many people shrugged and said no.
Right. We were far from seeing a majority of Democrats go along with opening the shutdown with this hammered out deal. So what are you hearing from some of those no votes in the Democratic caucus?
They're angry, they're frustrated, and they feel like, especially after Tuesday's elections, that there was a sea change. I mean, coming into work on Monday, I will tell you, there were some moderate Democratic senators who really were racked with frustration. They really felt like enough pain had been felt, and they were ready to get on to some version of a deal. Tuesday's elections happened, progressives felt buoyed, and that's why we ended up going through the rest of the week without much action in terms of changing votes and making deals. Then, of course, you land after a rare working weekend, and this vote ultimately comes out, but you've still got progressives talking like this.
That is a totally meaningless gesture. You can get 100 votes here in the Senate. Won't mean anything because the House is not going to take it up, and the President of the United States certainly will not sign it.
I voted no just because I'm so pissed off. I'm just frustrated that you're right, 40 days, and they still, we gave them every chance to negotiate a moderate, doesn't have to put the whole thing back, and they wouldn't do it.
Member Luz Rivas from California on behalf of freshman class.
Okay.
I'm delivering a letter
Okay.
demanding a meeting with you on the shutdown, and also
Democrat
sharing.
freshman? Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
a Democratic freshman.
Okay.
And sharing constituent stories from across the country and how they're impacted by your shutdown.
My shutdown?
Yes.
Well, I'd love to talk to you about that.
Yes.
Remember,
Oh,
we
then
voted
please.
14 times to open, Democrats voted 14 times to close.
We voted to protect health care for Americans.
Healthcare is the debate we were supposed to have in October, November, December. It was always going to be on the schedule. Did they tell you that?
Well, we're here ready to work. We have been out of session since September 19th.
Because the House did our job.
That's your decision. We could be doing the job now. We could be in hearings right now.
We have to get the government open so that we can get paychecks and services and health and food and
Well, you're in control. We can do that.
I'm not in control. We need 5 Democrats in the Senate to help us because we only have 53 votes.
But we could be here working towards a negotiation and hearings. There's a process.
There's nothing we can do that's more important than getting the government open so everybody can have all their services. I mean, I know we agree on that.
Well, you said you would like to meet with us. That's a request from freshmen and stories from our constituents and how they're impacted.
I got a bunch of them too, I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Vote to reopen the government tonight without a win on health care is a brutal blow to the millions and millions of Americans who have rallied to try to address and restore affordable health care for 20 million Americans. I strive to do everything I could to prevent this from succeeding, and I voted no tonight with every fiber of my being. To be sure, the real villain is Trump and the Republicans who savaged health care in their big, ugly betrayal of a bill and then shut down the government because they weren't willing to fix it. And then in a level of cruelty unwitnessed in modern American history, we saw Trump double down by cutting food benefits for children and vulnerable families, firing thousands and thousands of federal workers, and shutting down flights across the country. Using hungry kids and vulnerable families as bargaining chips casts a shame on the entire Republican Party. Trump's authoritarian tyranny is dismantling our democracy before our very eyes. And the only way to stop an authoritarian is to stand up to him. I will redouble my efforts to stop Donald Trump, to stop his authoritarian takeover, and to do it in partnership with grassroots champions who are organizing across our entire country. Together, let's save our republic.
I think it is important that the American people fully understand what is being voted on today. Everybody in America knows that our current healthcare system is broken, it is dysfunctional, it is cruel, it is by far the most expensive healthcare system in the world, and the only healthcare system of any major country that does not guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right, covering every man, woman, and child. We are unique in that respect. And yet tonight, what this Senate is about to do is make a horrific situation even worse. So let's be clear what this vote is about. If this vote succeeds, over 20 million Americans are going to see at least a doubling in their premiums in the Affordable Care Act. In my state of Vermont and throughout this country, for certain groups of people, it will be a tripling and a quadrupling of their premiums. There are people who will now be paying 50% of their limited incomes for health care. Does anybody in the world think that makes sense? And if this resolution is passed tonight, we are on a pathway to throw 15 million Americans off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. 15 million. Our job is to create universal health care, guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child, not throw 15 million people off the health care they have, low-income and working-class people. And my friends, know what you are voting on. Studies are out there that when you throw 15 million people off of health care, some 50,000 of our fellow Americans will die unnecessarily every single year. Anyone think that's funny? Something to laugh at? Something to just go past? I don't. 50,000 Americans die unnecessarily. Now, I know as part of this resolution that the majority leader is going to say, well, Democrats can put together their own bill and it will come to the floor here in the Senate for a vote. As everybody here knows, that is a totally meaningless gesture. You can get 100 votes here in the Senate. Won't mean anything because the House is not going to take it up, and the President of the United States certainly will not sign it.
There's a lot of people pissed off, still have a lot of fight in them, and I respect that. I do. But you got to understand something. There's a reason the Democrats made the deal that they did, and it's this. It's really simple. It's not hard. The Republicans made it clear there was no deal to be had. They would destroy anything. They were willing to drive the airlines into bankruptcy. And remember, this is the travel season. This is where the airlines make their money. And the Republicans were more than happy to bankrupt the airlines. They were more than happy to destroy the holidays, destroy the economy. They looked the Democrats dead in the eye and said, there is nothing that we won't destroy. There's no one we will not hurt. You saw that with the SNAP benefits. They're willing to just starve the least capable of us, the most vulnerable. And at that point, you can either not believe them, which I absolutely believe them. I believe that there was nothing they were not willing to do to destroy the Affordable Care Act. It did not matter to them. And that being the case, what's the point of the shutdown? I mean, I commend the Democrats for trying. But when there's no deal to be made, when the Republicans are telling you, keep it shut down forever, we're destroying the Affordable Care Act, then it just becomes us making sure that air traffic controllers aren't getting paid. TSA is not getting paid. Government employees aren't getting paid. If there's no point to it, if there's no deal to be made to continue on, while I get it, man, you've got fire. You were in for this fight. I understand that. But at that point, there's no point. It becomes us hurting people for no discernible reason. I get it, and I respect your fire. But at some point, you just have to accept the Republicans are what they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and Secretary of War, and say your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, Trucker John.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. You guys hear me okay? Test, test, test. Aaron's giving me a thumbs up. Thank you, Aaron. Testing, 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 testing. All right. All right. And then it's 11:21 a.m. in the Pacific time zone. For those of you keeping score at home, it's currently about 75 degrees. We have a high today of 80, an overnight low of 53 here in Las Vegas. All right, guys, let me just address the intro right off the bat. Let's get right to it. Let's get right into it. Okay, so probably 90% of you are ready to throw Chuck Schumer somewhere. Under the bus, over the creek, I don't know, into retirement. Chuck Schumer would have, no, by the way, but I tend to, I try to get both sides on that in that intro, kind of both sides of the argument, and I tend to agree more with Texas Paul. This is a tough thing. Obviously, we want to stand up to the Republicans. We want to stand up for health care, for people, for the people who are going to be losing their health care. We want to be in their corner. We want to stand up for people who are going to be affected by the Medicaid cuts. But that's not going to be for over another year for that, I believe. We want to stand up for people who are losing their SNAP benefits. But those will be restored now, by the way. So it comes to a point where you gotta, you gotta weigh things out. Do we keep going with this shutdown where people are working without pay, and we have this constant fight with SNAP? I know that some of the blue states were able to fund, in some cases, 100% for the SNAP in their states. Not all states could do that. And how long would that go on? So are we hurting? How many millions of people are we hurting over here to save the other millions of people over here? You know, see what I'm saying? At some point, we got to make a decision. And I think Texas Paul is right. The Republicans weren't going to budge. Not as long as Sleepy Trump is in there and telling them what to do, which he's been doing since before he was president even. He's been telling Mike Johnson what to do. He's been telling the Senate leadership what to do, Republican leadership what to do. So do we keep this so-called fight? And in the meantime, more and more people are either losing their jobs or they're working without pay. More and more people are needing to go to into the food lines. At what point is it really it's futility? And I think that's what Texas Paul was getting at. It's futility. This doesn't change anything. This doesn't change our momentum with last Tuesday. This doesn't change our momentums with the No King protests and all the marching we've been doing. This doesn't change what we're going to do next November at the ballot box. This doesn't change that at all. But what this does is it restores SNAP, and it restores pay for people so they can get paid for fucking working. They were never going to come off. The Republicans were never. I mean, I shouldn't say never. Never say never. But how many months were we willing to shut down the government before the Republicans finally caved? How many fucking people, more people than the 25 million that are going to lose their health care through the ACA? How many more millions than that were we going to hurt in the process? 50 million? 100 million? And this is why it takes an adult to be in Congress or even think about these things. These are adult issues. This isn't just so This isn't just so easy as like, fuck Chuck Schumer, fuck him. He caved. The Democrats caved. The 8 Democrats, they caved. Cave. This isn't just about caving. This is more than just a one-word fucking thing. This is complex. This is very complex. And it's very difficult. And I'm sure that those 8 senators that went along with the Republicans didn't do so lightly. So I think there's still a chance. And I know we say, about negotiating healthcare in December. Let's apply the pressure. There are supposed to be some sort of like general strikes, or at least, I don't know what they're calling it, about, not buying things during the 22nd through the 28th. Let's do that. Let's apply pressure with the pocketbook. Let's demand. We the people, we have more people. If we put our people power together, we've got more power than anything. We've got more power than the fucking billionaires. We got more power than the fucking U.S. Congress. If we put our fucking minds together and we come together, that's how we do it. Through marching and through strikes, general strikes, and through voting. And we're all in this place because a lot of people didn't fucking vote in last election, in 2024. Just remember that. We're all fafoing right now because of a bunch of people that didn't vote. We don't have, there's no reason for us to be here right now. There's no reason why about 77 million people voted for fucking a 34 convicted felon, 34-time convicted felon, and everyone that we know he's fucking a pedo. We know he's a fucking rapist. I'll just say it. We know he's a fucking rapist. Even those people that voted for him know that. At least most of them do. Enough of them that if they said, I'm not voting for a fucking rapist, there's enough of those folks that if they hadn't voted for him, Kamala Harris would be president right now. And we wouldn't be going through all this shit. But it is what it is, and we are here. We are here. This is where we are. Yeah, it would have been great to get the healthcare subsidies worked out, but they weren't budging on it. They weren't going to budge. So let's just, lick our wounds and go on and move on and bolster up for the next fight. Let's live to fight another day. Because there's going to be lots of more fights, lots more battles. We may have lost this battle, but we have not lost the war. We have not lost the war. So we got to stay in there. We got to stick in there. And now, maybe, I don't know, this just kind of popped in my head. I know there's lots of, states and organizations that were getting food together. Why can't states get health networks together to help the people that are losing their health care? There's things that can be done. All right, let's fill that blank spot in the corner there. I found a couple memes or pictures. Now, you guys all saw the clip of Trump when he was at the football stadium in Washington, D.C., along with the booze, there was a lot of flipping the bird. And there was a lot of some of the video I saw where Trump saw that and he heard it and he looked a little confused. I'm not sure if he knows how unpopular he really is. So at every corner, at every turn, at every opportunity, we need to let him know how unpopular he really is. Whenever he's at an event like this, just boo the fuck out of him, flip him off. I'm waiting for people to start bringing tomatoes. Now, I'm not suggesting you throw tomatoes at the president, but I'm just saying, I'm surprised I haven't seen any tomatoes or rotten vegetables being thrown at him. Now, I think when that was a thing, back in the old like king and castle days, I think people had vegetables more readily available because there was really not any refrigeration. So I think they carried the shit on them, and then they're like, "Oh, these are getting bad," and then they're like, "Oh, you're an asshole," and they would just throw it at somebody. So we have refrigeration now, so we're not carrying our vegetables around with us. But if we did, just saying. Just saying. All right, guys. So let me go to the chat. I'm not able to go to the very beginning. I know I saw Sandy Foltz and Belfast Bob in there and a bunch of folks. I'm not able to do that, but I am starting at Anna Moore. It says protect your body at all costs. Roxanne 79. That's where I'm entering in the conversation. Apparently, that's a mid-thread comment directed at Roxanne 79. Something about protecting your body. And I'm all for it, even though I'm mid-thread. Bonnie Balcom's here. Hey, Bonnie, good to see you. Bonnie says, I like Bernie when that bird landed on his podium. Well, yeah, that was way back. Was that the 2016 campaign? Yeah, so that's way back. It was really like a cute and sort of kind of apt thing that happened. Billy Kid 73. I have not seen you in here in a long time, Billy Kid. Billy Kid completely disagrees with Texas Paul, which is fine. Like we're able to have our own opinions, and I get it. Now, just like Texas Paul said, he gets it. I get it too. I'm pissed. I'm pissed off too. And ideally, I would like for us to never, ever, ever have to, I guess, give up. People think this is like giving up. Like I say, this is living to fight another day is what this is what we're at, I believe. And I think Texas Paul was right, but that's okay. I mean, we're allowed to disagree. And it's not like, because I can see both sides, and I kind of feel, like your side too, your argument. It's not like you just said it's not like if you said, I think all or not. I'll just say hypothetically, some person just said, I think all abortions should be completely outlawed, no matter what, no matter the circumstance, 100% illegal, which is what they are doing now. Then I would say, I guess we're still allowed to disagree, but I wouldn't take it so lightly. I wouldn't be like, oh, okay, we're okay. I would probably be like, oh, fuck you, or something. You know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. I'm going to move on before I bury myself any deeper here. Looks like William is here. William says, I like Texas Paul, but I have to disagree with him on that. Yeah, you guys, and I knew you guys would. I knew that a lot of you would disagree. You would disagree with Paul, and you would disagree with me, because I'm pretty much taking Paul's side on that. But that's okay. Roxanne 79 says, DPD, hey, hon, good to see you. I don't agree with him much either. I'm mid-thread. I'm not sure who you're not agreeing with. Victor Harshman says, sorry, Paul, we love you, but can't negotiate with a dictatorship. They weren't, that's the thing. They weren't negotiating. The Republicans refused to negotiate. The House of Representatives was closed since September 19th. They would refuse to negotiate. Meanwhile, now they're going to reopen Congress, and we're going to get Adelita Grijalva finally sworn in. Now, I know that what that means, it'll be put to a vote, and it'll get voted down or whatever. And if it gets to the president's desk, he's going to veto it or whatever. All that kind of shit. But there is something to it where people said that the reason this is important is to get the vote on the record. Who's going to vote for that, and who's for the discharge notice, and who's going to vote against it. And there will be a matter of record. That's an important thing. So we know who the true pedophile protectors are. We will find out. When they put that to a vote, it will go on record as to who the true pedo protectors are. Evan Stube is here. He's got snow flurries in southern Illinois. Yeah, I saw some snow at some of the games yesterday. The football games. Nick Rich, is there retroactive pay for those laid off? I heard talk of that, but who knows with this Trump administration? But there should be. There sure as fuck should be. There sure as fuck better be. I'm telling you, man, if I was a fucking traffic control dude, I would fucking go on strike, and no matter what, even if it's illegal at this point, I think I would just fucking go on strike. Fuck them. DPD says, but hello, the motherfuckers will do it anyway. Hello. The motherfuckers will do what anyway? They will kill ACA or something. James Jaramillo. Hey, James Jaramillo, I believe someone has a birthday today. James Jaramillo, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Where's my birthday hat? I got a birthday hat. I discovered it yesterday. I got me a birthday little hat thingy. What the hell is it? What happened to my birthday hat? Oh, why do things disappear? This is so crazy. Oh, here it is. There we go. Happy birthday, James Jaramillo. I'll put this on for a little bit. For James. I believe it was James' birthday, right? Right, it was James' birthday. Everyone's booing. This is part of the intro where Trump came on. I saw you guys booing. DPD, sorry for my language. Oh, DPD. Hush your mouth. Yeah, that's okay. We're on the Trucker John channel. You're allowed to have salty language on the Trucker John Livestream. William says, we made a point with the elections. There was no reason to back down. Again, at this point, we were just banging our heads against the wall, I think. I mean, we could have. Okay, so we could have. How much longer could we run out? Could we hold out? Another month? Another month of no paychecks, of people working with no pay? Another month of air traffic controllers not getting paid? Another month of fighting over SNAP? I mean, if that's what you want to do, maybe, I don't know your situation. Maybe you're not in such a... Bethany's here. Hello, Bethany. Good to see you. Damon Dog, the big dog, 47 and sunny in Charlotte. John Glad's here. Always glad to see John Glad in the driver's line. Aaron is here. We've got Aaron. I think I saw Jolie, right? I believe I saw Jolie. So does that mean we are at full mad? I think we are at full mad capacity. but I meant to say full mod capacity. We're at full mod capacity according to my stipulations. In case One Division comes on here and goes all fucking psycho on me again, like he did a couple of days ago. I don't know if you guys saw a bunch of his comments where obviously the dude was off his meds or something. When I say full mod capacity, because he asked if he could be a mod, and I turned him down. And I said, and then I have this it's a running gag. Anyone who watches my show for any length of time, you know I've been doing this little running gag where whenever Jolie and Aaron are in here, I always go, we're at full mod capacity. And so when he asked me if he could be a mod, I said, no, because we're at full mod capacity. Anyhow, he didn't think that was very funny, apparently, and he unleashed a whole fucking thing of comments on one of the a couple of days ago, and it was just unhinged. Talk about unhinged. This dude was unhinged. Anyhow, we are full mod capacity, so if you can't figure that out, then fuck off. All right, so we got Michael McAndrews here. Hey, Michael McAndrews getting some snow up there. Billy Kidd is here. Oh, yeah, I already said that. Bethany, hello, Bethany. Look at there. Sandy Folds with a $2 super sticker. Yippee, Sandy Folds. Thank you so much. Give you a thumbs up and a heart. Thanks for those thumbs ups. I always appreciate them. We're 1/5 of the way to the goal today, to our goal. Belfast Bob says, good evening, TJ. And I saw Belfast Bob in here earlier, so thanks for coming on in. We got 40, well, we just went down to 45. We got 45 watching and 45 thumbs ups. So at least we are operating like good Democrats with a balanced budget. So I appreciate you. I like it when we operate like good Democrats. Victor Harshman says, I've been really busy. Did Hal, well, I have not heard the latest on that. So just, you know, and I don't mean this in a sarcastic or a whatever or insincere way. When I say thoughts and prayers, I mean thoughts and prayers. I don't mean it insincerely. So my thoughts and prayers and just positive, you know, thoughts going to the Sparks family as they go through this time. It's a difficult time, and just, you know, so all of our positive thoughts going out to Hal and his family. Nick Rich 11:21, so I'm about 22 minutes behind. Nick Rich, I'm 20. This is another thing I've been doing. 22 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 22 minutes behind. I don't know why. I don't know why I do the things that I do. So here I am, right at the thumbs ups. This is just when the intro started, or when the intro ended. Deborah Murphy's here. Hey, Deborah. Says the chat is moving, and I'm not able to see that once it disappears. Mr. Spock says focus, hocus pocus, focus. James Jaramillo, I believe, is a birthday boy. James Jaramillo is the birthday boy. James Jaramillo, the birthday boy. Today's the day, my friend, where we put another candle on your birthday cake. Put another candle on your birthday cake. Aaron West says, I just got an email from our parent agency. Latest know there will be voluntary separations and reorganization based on a new strategic plan. Oh boy, that does not sound good, Aaron. That does not sound good. It's just fancy talk for a lot of people who are going to get fired. Sounds like to me. Yeah, and under Trump's watch, since he became president, how many people have lost their jobs? I think it's almost 1 million people, right? Or maybe more. I don't know. Certainly hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people have lost their jobs during this, just barely a year. It's not even a year since he took office. Roxanne79 says, Chuckle Schumer can F off. Get out of here, wussy. See, I don't think he's a wussy. You can disagree with his tact or his decisions. I don't think it has anything to do with being a wussy. I think I think that it is a strategy and a tactfulness, and or just a realization of reality of what's going on. Now, do I think Schumer should retire at the end of his term? Yeah, I do. I think it's time for new blood. I would love nothing more than to see AOC run for his seat, and then hopefully get another nice progressive to take AOC's House seat. That would be the ideal thing. But we're a ways away off on that. So in the meantime, you know, I think we're way premature on that. And I don't think that whatever Schumer did on this, I don't think it had anything to do with him being a wussy or a coward or anything like that. It might, you might not agree with it, but I don't think it had anything to do with being a wussy. DBD says, remember these names: John Fetterman, Dick Durbin, Jackie Rosen, Angus Young, Tim Kaine, Maggie Hassan, Jeannie Shaheen, and Catherine Cortez Masto. Two of those are my senators, Rosen and what her fuck, I always forget her stupid name. But Squirrel Girl's here. Hey, Squirrel Girl, good to see you. Apparently, they feel pretty safe. But I will say that they especially Mastro Cortez, where the fuck her name is. And I don't mean I shouldn't be disrespectful, but I just wish her name was fucking Lori Smith. I could remember that. Anyhow, she barely won. I think Rosen might be a little safer. I think she had a little, but their elections are pretty close. And this fucking Nevada, we got a Republican MAGA governor. We only have 6 House districts, I think 6. It's either 5 or 6, and so we either have 4 out of the 5 or 6 or 5 out of the 6 are Democrats, and then of course both of our senators are Democrats. But I know our Democrats, they were pretty close, especially Mastos Cortez or whatever the fuck her name. Could she just change her name to fucking, even if it just was Cortez, I could probably. I think it's the whole 3 name thing. Anyhow, because I always forget, is it Cortez Masto? Is it Masto Cortez? Am I not saying those names right? You know, is there another S in there somewhere? Anyway, I digress. But anyhow, what I'm saying is I'm not so sure if they're as safe as they think they are, and by doing this and not having repercussions when their terms are up. But again, I think by the time we get to the midterm congressional elections, so much more shit is going to happen that I don't even think we're not even going to bring this up. This will just be a little fucking thing, compared to all the other shit that's going to happen. DPD says, I love you, TJ, but this is bullshit. They got nothing in return. You can't not. No, they did get something in return. We're going to finally get Grijalva sworn in. We're going to get that the Espin file thing voted on. Like I said, that's important to get those people on record who are the pedo protectors. We're going to get SNAP benefit back in. We're going to get government workers and air traffic controllers and military and all that shit back to being paid again. I think we got a lot. I mean, how much? Like I said, how much longer? Maybe I don't know what your situation is, but how much longer can you go without pay and food? I'm sorry for the 25 million that are going to lose their health care, but you got to weigh it out. Like I said, you got to weigh it out. Are we going to kill 100 million people over here so we can save the 25 million over there? These are things that have to be weighed out. Maybe it's a bit of a Sophie's choice, but you got to make a choice. And I think you have to make the choice that is going to be the least harmful. And I think what they did was the least harmful thing. I think continuing with this was just going to get more and more people hurt and really drag down the country. which maybe I know a lot of people are like, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go there yet. Bonnie Balcom, I want Chuck replaced way before the shutdown. Wanted him replaced. Well, these are 6-year terms. Unless you're going to impeach him, he's not going to get replaced until he gets voted out or he retires. I mean, just wishing it and wiggling our noses or waving a wand isn't going to do it. Waving our magic wand isn't going to fucking do it. Julie says, my feelings about Texas Paul. See, God damn it, I hate it. This thing fucking disappears. I don't. So I'll never know what Jolie's feelings were about Texas Paul. Schoolgirl says that everyone talks about Orange Bozo being a taco. What about Chuck being the same, a caco? I'm not sure what a caco is, but I think it's easy to dunk on Schumer. Might I suggest you walk a mile in his shoes? Walk a mile in his fucking shoes, okay? And then tell me. Then come back. Jolie says Trump simply wants to tear down anything built by a Democrat president. He doesn't care the cost as long as he can destroy it. You know what Trump wants? He just wants to be in the White House as long as he can, because he knows that every day he's in the White House is a day that he's not in prison. Luck Dragon. Hey, Luck Dragon. Good to see you. Says, why not start a different party? My suggestion, FAFO Party, formerly known as Independents. Do independents want to start a party? I thought independents wanted to be independent. I thought that was the whole idea of being an independent, was to not be in a party. Why would the independents want to be in a party? They don't like parties, apparently. I thought. That seems rather, I don't know, contradictory or something. Belfast Bob says, just asking from outside America, can dump destroy ACA? They can destroy it the way they're doing it, by starving it. That's how they're destroying it, by starving it of funds. That's how they're doing it. Billy Kid, ACA is dead. ACA wasn't that great anyhow. How about this? We talk about starting new things. How about we start when we get power back in 2028, when we get full power back. And I know that's still 3 years away or whatever, but and a lot of people are going to die, like Bernie Sanders says. You know, it's at least 50,000 people a year dying unnecessarily. And that's why I'm hoping maybe there will be other health networks that states, blue states, can get together, or something, or in the interim, when we win back the House and the Senate next year, maybe they can do something to patch together something to help people with these losing their health care. But once we get back to full power, House, Senate, White House, then it's got to be fucking Medicare for all, and it's got to be. I think it should be 100% pay. None of this 80% bullshit. 100% Medicare for all, not 80%. Because right now Medicare only pays for 80%. It needs to be Medicare for all, paying 100% of your fucking health care. And that's what we need to start demanding when we do these marches. If you're calling your senators and your House reps and you're sending postcards in, and we're doing, I saw Darkly Yours. Remember, thank you, yippee to Darkly Yours. It went by. The chat is kind of going by a little fast. So thank you so much. I do appreciate you. if we're doing these marches and all this thing, that needs to be our probably one of our top priorities. Medicare for all. No more of this fucking ACA bullshit. None of that shit. It's going to be Medicare for all, paying 100%, just like they do in Canada. They pay for 100%, right? They don't do this fucking 80% bullshit, right? Michael McAndrews. Hey, Michael McAndrews, $5 super chat. Thank you, Michael. Yippee! So thank you so much. I'll give you a thumbs up and a heart, and for that. And he says, "Got to keep moving on. No stopping us, good people." I mean, and like I say, I understand the frustration and the anger and feeling maybe betrayed or whatever. I understand. I do too, but I don't. I kind of side with them. I am definitely, I think, more on the Texas Paul side of things, where it was getting to the point where we were the ones doing more harm than the Republicans were. Victor Harsham says no Republican will vote for extending health care. We can stop with that nonsense, Senator Kelly. Roxanne79, if they collectively withhold funds, it will be stronger than just California, but I'd like any of these governors make a big move instead of just talk. It's so easy for us to tell other people what to do and never having been in that position. Have you been the governor of a state, especially one the size of California? Has anyone in this chat been the governor of California or the governor of any state like that? Do you know what goes on to it? Do you know what that entails? Do you know that withholding federal tax money, what that would is that even possible? Do you even know that? I don't know that. That's why I don't spout that kind of shit. I don't go around saying that because I don't know. I don't even know if it's even fucking physically possible to do it. Billy Kid says there won't be another fight. Clown Boy or something. He won't sign any ACA bill. Damon Dog says, happy birthday, James Jaramillo. James Jaramillo. I like how sometimes when I do this or I do something and now it won't do it, but it would do stuff. All right, let's see. I've got more memes. Oh, there did it. I got some. I got another. Or let's see. What do we got here? I got. Well, we shouldn't forget the Epstein files, right, guys? Saw this. This is a nice little collage of photos with Trump and his buddy Jeffrey Epstein and partying and all the young girls and just face Maxwell's there. I can see her in there, and it's just a good time. Just a good time. Good time. They're having a good time. Let's not forget that, and let's not forget that really that is sort of what all this is all about. Is to distract us from this. To distract us from the Epstein files. Because what I'm hearing is that there's so much in there that's like way worse than we would ever could even imagine regarding Trump. And that's why Trump is willing to fucking destroy the country to keep that from getting out. So let's not forget that. Let's not forget about that. in all this talk. When's the last time we really brought up the Epstein files? You know? 007 Kevin Troll Slayer's here. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Mr. Buck says, if there is a midterms, the Dems will take back the House, maybe the Senate. If they take back both, they can do what they want. Well, they can only do what they want if they have veto-proof numbers in order to override a presidential veto, which takes like, what, 3/4 of the fucking Senate or 3/4 of the whole Congress? I forget, but so in other words, we have to win in such numbers that we get veto-proof numbers. Otherwise, he'll just veto everything, I think. Jolie says, vote number 218. What's that about? Vote number 218. Belfast, it's illegal to strike. Well, I think for air traffic controllers, I think it is. I know I was a U.S. postal worker, and it was illegal for us to strike. And I think air traffic controllers, I think that was the whole thing of what Reagan. I think Reagan made it illegal, and then they went on strike. This is back in like the early '80s, right? And then they went on strike anyhow, and he fired a bunch of them, or all the strikers. And so they haven't gone on strike since because they don't want to get fired, and it's a good paying job, and I so don't blame them. So yeah, there are some jobs where it's illegal, like a government jobs that are, I guess, like these necessary jobs. Anamore says, I would go on strike as well if I were ATC play. But again, like I said, Anamore, I believe it's illegal and they could just be fired. That would be cause for termination, I believe. If there are any air traffic controllers in here, or if you know of the subject better than I do, then feel free to chime in. Luck Dragon says, yeah, there is no way in hell we are going to make it to next November without some extreme fallout. Wow, no question marks or anything. Anamore says, happy birthday, James Jaramillo. James Jaramillo. Victor Harshman says, Nancy Mace is running for South Carolina governor. She needs GOP support to win. I'm afraid she will withdraw her name from the discharge petition. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she did. Roxanne says, loving the HBD hat thingy. TJ heard Rams want you. What do you mean you heard? What do you mean you heard? You weren't watching it? They fucking blew out the Niners. I know you were watching. You and Jen were like cry watching. Anyhow, just kidding. Mr. Spock, only 1089 Scaramucci's till he expires. Roxanne said, restart is you start glitching. I'm glitching? Am I glitching? Blood Dragon, what would Ozzy Osbourne say? He would probably say, I smell a war? I don't know. Would he? Mad Mac is here. Slava Ukraini. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I was good to see Mad Mac. Mr. Spock says he won't see spring. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just, whatever happens, happens. Jolie says it's definitely full mad capacity. Yeah, I think we are at full mad capacity today. Today is the day. If there's any days to be at full mad capacity, today would be the day. I know we're all mad. Again, I wish there's a part of me that wishes we would have just hung in there and kept it going, but there's also a part of me that knows that they weren't going to give in, and in the meantime, millions of people are hurting without food and without income. Luck Dragon says, I've been searching all day for good, Bad Company Rock and Roll Hall of Fame videos, but instead I'm getting crammed with Cyndi Lauper. I don't know. Are you? Well, I saw the Cyndi Lauper the photo, I guess, where she was singing, and then she just stopped, and then she like I don't know did a fist power thing or something like that. William says, looks like Donnie brought bad luck to the Commanders. See, they got beat. Yeah, they got their asses kicked. Jolie says he thought it was funny. That's just one vision being Seha. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was psychotic. And I knew that would probably be his excuse. Of like, oh, I'm just joking, and then people are going to yell at me that I can't tell when someone's joking. I can't tell a joke. I thought it was really seriously psychotic, and I was this close to blocking his ass. If you want to know the truth, I was this close. But I knew they would be like, oh, he was only joking, and he's blah blah blah. If you read that whole string, that was psychotic bullshit, and I don't play it. I don't go for that. If I didn't know him better, then I would have blocked his ass. I don't go for that shit. It's stupid. It's just stupid bullshit. It's one thing to joke, but you got to realize when you're writing stuff in a text format or in a chat format, that's different than if you and I or what we're sitting at a bar and we're having beers and we're fucking busting each other busting balls or whatever. That's different. But when you write it down in a text format, it's a completely different medium, and people don't realize that. And all that shit that he was saying, I was, like I said, I was this close to just blocking his ass and never having to put up with his shit ever again. But I didn't do it because then I knew that then people would look at me like I'm the asshole. Now I'm the asshole. I just can't win. Love Dragon says, I love Cyndi Lauper too, but I love Bad Company more. Sorry, hon, I'm a rock singer. Well, you could rock up some Cyndi Lauper. J. Samuel says, thank you, sir. TJ, you're welcome. HBD, my man, HBD. Anamore says, in the intro, what was Trump reading? Oh, I guess they had people on the field, down on the field, that were, I don't know if he was swearing them in if they just got their citizenship, or if he was swearing in people to be ICE agents. I forget now, but it was something where he was swearing people in for something, and it was stupid. Squirrel Girl with the $5 super chat. Just cuz. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. Yippee. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Give you a thumbs up and a heart also. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. Appreciate it. Josh Sees is here. I see Josh Sees in the driver's lounge. Hello. David Windler from Denver's here. Wait, David Weiss is from Denver. David Windler, I'm not sure, right? David Weiss is the one from Denver. David Windler, I have no idea where he's from. David Windler says that Nicole Sandler's dog is sick. That's sad. That's a sad. Jackson, I believe his name is. Poor Jackson. I hope he gets better. Nick Rich 1145. I'm only 25 minutes behind. 25 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 25 minutes behind. 25 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 25 minutes behind. 25 minutes. I think I'm singing it like that so that people will listen to me. Sometimes I feel like I'm up here and no one's listening. I don't know. I don't think you guys listen to me. I could just say whatever I want, and probably no one would even know. Brooklyn SJU is here. Hey, Brooklyn, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Brooklyn just had a birthday yesterday, and we had a little get together yesterday. For those of you that weren't here. So happy day after your birthday to Brooklyn SJU. Mad Max, Spock, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. Was that really a direct quote or a paraphrase there? With the adding of... Anyhow. Darkly Yours. who I did see what became a member. Thank you, Darkly Yours. I appreciate that. If I didn't say that earlier, Darkly Yours says it's my grandma's birthday today. 88. I got her Pizza King and a milkshake. Nice. That sounds good. Did she get pineapple on it? No. I just had to bring that up, didn't I? Brooklyn says, Roxanne, I ordered meatballs and spaghetti. It was okay. Darn it, I was hoping you would say it was like the best fucking spaghetti and meatballs I've ever had. But better than nothing. Sandy folks, my heat is back on and working. I did see that post. You posted that. So I'm glad you got your heat and you didn't have to go too long without it. You just had to suffer the one night. So hopefully it's back on and working, and it'll keep you warm throughout the winter time. Victor Harshman says, Ghislaine, whatever the fuck her name is, Maxwell gets a support puppy. Not kidding. Oh boy, that poor puppy. I instantly feel sorry for the puppy. Roxanne79 says, I'm over all these ancient politicians. In general, I mean, Chuckles is wussy because he should step aside. We need more than strongly worded letters. Has he said one way or the other? Because, and I'm not sure, where is he at in his term? I forget. Is he still got, like, so is he up in this next election next year, or is he going to be like, in the next one, whatever it is? But I mean, he maybe he is going to, Pelosi retired, maybe he's going to retire too. Who knows? But I haven't heard him say one way or the other. So I kind of reserve my thoughts on that until, like if he comes out and says, I am running for re-election and whatever his term is up, then I might say, I wish he wouldn't do that. I'm not sure if I would say primary is asked, because I also want to concentrate on, like I said, like Hal says, making red states blue and blue states more blue and purple states purple, or whatever the fuck it is, instead of just spending a lot of energy on a place that maybe we don't need to spend a lot of energy on. If we want to get the overall numbers up and not just concentrate on fucking New York. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean? Do you guys know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Jelly bean. Let me take this out. I like my little sign that I have. I got a sign. Everyone's got a sign. Remember, what's his name? Bill, what's his face? Comedian. He was sort of a redneck comedian, but his thing was, here's your sign, or whatever the fuck. Well, here's the sign right here that we need to put up. All right, guys. Release the goddamn Epstein files. William says, I'm from PA, and I look forward to voting Fetterman out. As long as you got as long as you got a Democrat to replace him with. As long as you can get a Democrat in there and not have a Republican get in there, then by all means. Fetterman is still better than any Republican, though, I got to tell you. Brooklyn says, Damon Dog TJ made it a great day. Oh, hey, Brooke, thanks for that. It was my pleasure to spend a little bit of time with you. Josh says, is that like Kentucky Fried Taco, but crossed with McWendy's King? Luck Dragon, I don't deserve the balcony I cry. Are these song lyrics, Luck Dragon? I don't deserve my skin that is white. I definitely don't deserve this. I just wish you would stop with the question marks. Put down some proper punctuation. MJ Daniel from Washington State says, if this is a tactic, it seems to be a really stupid one to me. Democrats had damn well better get out and make sure everybody knows who is responsible, the GOP. And that's my fucking argument. Blame Trump. Blame fucking Thune or whatever the fuck his name is. Blame the fucking whole Republican Party. Blame Mike Johnson of the House. That's where the blame really should lie. If you want to take your anger out on something, take your anger out on those motherfuckers. Take it out on the GOP, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are responsible for all this shit. At the end of the day, it's the fucking Republicans that are responsible for all of this shit. And we had a limited bit of leverage. The only leverage we had, I guess, was by not voting for the CR. But it wasn't working. I think it was getting to the point where it was just causing more harm than good. So at the end of the day, put your fucking anger on the fucking Republicans, because they're the ones that don't care. Look, the Democrats care. We want health care. We want SNAP benefits. We want people to get paid. The Republicans don't give a fuck. So you should be angry at them, not at us, not at the Democrats. Be angry with the fucking Republicans. So every time you feel like kicking your TV or throwing a brick at your TV when you see Chuck Schumer's face come up, direct that fucking energy and anger at the fucking GOP. Because they're the ones that are responsible at the end of the day. They're the ones that did this and are doing this. And it's really not. I mean, maybe you could say Democrats didn't run good campaigns or whatever, but it's not really the Democrats' fault that 19 million people didn't show up that showed up in 2020 to vote in 2024. Belfast Bob, a little bump in the road of life type of thing. I don't know if this is a little bump in the road, but I mean, it's still a big deal. People are going to lose their health care. And according to Bernie Sanders, 50,000 people a year are going to die because of it. That's not really a little bump in the road. But Mr. Spock, they rigged the Epstein vote. So that's a moot point. What do you mean they rigged the Epstein vote? They haven't even voted yet. Look, Dragon says, okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing the Bad Company stuff here. Okay, Bad Company inducted in the Hall of Fame. Good for them. Sunnyful says, TJ, what happened to your birthday hat yesterday? You mean the one that I'm wearing right now? Is that what you're talking about? That's really a filter? It's not really a real hat? David Dog says, and the hemp industry takes a hit, they may undo the hemp provision of the 2018 Farm Bill. Again, you should have voted for Kamala. People should have voted for Kamala Harris, and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. MJ Danny, you're going to get to see how Republicans really feel about the American people, because this budget and bill they want will be a disaster, and Democrats need to be ready to take advantage. It needs to all be pointed at the Republicans. This big, bad, stupid, idiot bill, it's all about taking away everything else from the bottom 99% to give it to the top 1% in tax cuts. That's all it's about. That's all this is. And that should be the number one response to almost everything. This is Republicans taking away social safety nets, taking away health care, taking away Medicare, taking away everything just so they can pay for trillions of dollars of tax cuts for people who don't need tax cuts. That should be the number one response rolling off of everyone's fucking tongue. But you guys don't want to listen to me because Schumer's a wussy and he's bad. Schumer bad. So fuck all that shit, right? Fuck that. Schumer's bad. That's all we're going to say. Instead of saying what we should be saying and blaming this on Republicans and how Republicans don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about you, MAGA. Hey, maggots. Republicans don't give a shit about you. They're taking away your fucking health care and your SNAP and your Medicare so they can pay for the tax cuts for fucking Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. That's what we should be saying. But no, instead we're going to fight about Schumer. It's stupid. I think it's so stupid. We got to get our message straight, folks. We're going to be having more and more marches and protests. We got to get our message straight. We can't come out and start just blaming Schumer for everything. We got to aim our guns at the right direction, so we don't just shoot each other ourselves. We got to aim them at the fucking Republicans. And this is a metaphor. That was a metaphor, or you want to call it sarcasm. Metaphorically speaking, Sunny Fold says the food stamps are already. I got mine yesterday. That's because you live in New York, and Hochul was able to get those through. Most of the blue states were able to get at least partial, if not full, benefits through. I believe, and then the red states didn't, or had reduced amounts. Mad Max says simplify, motherfucker. Remember Tom Cruise's movie Born on the 4th of July? And I think one of the Marine vets was like, simplify. I think he just said something like, simplify, motherfucker. And that's always stuck with me. Out of that whole movie, that's the one line that stuck with me. And he's like, simplify, motherfucker. Anyhow, MJ Dana says, no, Schumer is not Taco. He's a bit too much grandpa, professor, for my taste. Again. And I've criticized Schumer for that too. With the glasses, kind of like what I do, and the way he talks, very slow and very kind of boring, kind of puts you to sleep. All that kind of stuff. Same thing John Kerry used to do to me, 20 years ago. But yeah, we need to right now. We need to direct, I think, our ire and our attention on the Republicans and not on our own. Schumer's going to retire when he's someday, okay? And AOC is so young, still so young, that she can take his seat whenever he retires. And by take it, I don't mean she's going to take it. She's going to have to earn it. She's going to have to run for it. But I think she would have a really good chance of getting it. And it'll happen when it happens. Luck Dragon says Mike Johnson is going to find a reason to block the shutdown and this is in his own records, his own words, and then I don't see it. It went away. Sorry, it went away. I can't go back to it. I guess I'm just going to have to read things down lower. Jolie says, I'll copy and paste my comment you missed, Trucker John, because it was a good one. Try not to miss it again. Okay. I'll try, Jolie. I'll try. Troll Slayer says, no, it doesn't have to be weighed out, John. It's plain and simple. Like MTN says, 8 Dems gave in to the Republicans because they wanted something that Trump won't give. Steve Sayers, healthcare should be nonprofit. I agree with that. Um, I don't think this is the hair on fire moment that I can go on YouTube and look right now, and it's probably 10-1 reacting like you guys are reacting, like MTN, Minority Report, you name it, that are all upset with the hated eight. I'm calling them instead of the hateful eight. These are the hated eight. It's probably 10-1, that are really upset and mad, and they want to primary these people and shit. I'm on the 1% side. Let me look at Jolie's real quick before it disappears. It says Jolie says, my feelings about Texas Paul are tepid at best, and I'm absolutely livid that Dems caved, but he puts things into perspective in a way I hadn't thought about. He's right. Ugh, I hated saying that. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that took a turn. I didn't expect that you were going to say he's right. So there you go. And so I don't think this is the hair on fire moment that some of these outlets are portraying it as. I really don't. And I think it needs to stop, actually, quite frankly. Whatever Midas Touch is saying, and, I haven't seen all of them. I just, you see a little bit here, a little bit there, but I think it needs to stop at some point. Okay, we're upset. We're venting right now. This is just happening. This, like today or last night. But be better as become a member. Thank you, Yippee, to be better. Thank you so much for being a member. I do appreciate it. And guys, we have memberships as low as $1.99 a month. But okay, let's give everyone today to vent this shit out. Okay, we can call Chuck Schumer a wussy. We can blame it all on Schumer. We can blame it all on the hated eight. We can say we're going to primary Fetterman and we're going to primary all these fuckers. Let's get it all out of our system today. Let's get it fucking out of our system today. And then tomorrow, I want you guys to come back in and ready to fight these fucking Republicans at every turn that we can. And we gotta realize that sometimes you gotta fucking retreat so you can live to fight another day. And I think that's what this is. We're not dead. We're not dead. And we are still alive, and we are still going to be around to fight more battles. That's the fucking thing we have to keep in mind. I think keeping on with this closure was just killing us. It was going to kill us. As more and more people were losing jobs, more and more people were going hungry, more and more people were losing benefits. It was dragging us all down, all of us, not just the Republicans. It was dragging all of us down. We were all going to sink. At least now we have a chance to live and fight another day. So get it out of your system today. I hate Chuck Schumer. He should be primaried. He should be retired. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. Get that out of your system today. Thank you, Sandy Foltz, member for 7 months. Yippee to Sandy Foltz. I just saw that flash by. Thank you so much, Sandy. Get that out of your system today, and then tomorrow, let's get back into the fight. And let's direct our energies towards the goddamn GOP. Because that's where it should be. Towards Donald Trump. Towards Mike Johnson. Towards Peter Toon, or whatever the fuck his name is. Toon, Goon. Happy Truckiversary to Sandy, is what I meant to say. All right, so today, vent, get it out of your system. Tomorrow, be back and get ready to start fighting Republicans. Peacefully and metaphorically, or whatever. Mad Mac, up your nose with a rubber hose, you pedophile, something or other. Aaron West, I'm going to sign into the meeting. Okay, Aaron, have a good meeting. I hope you don't get fired. because of what you were sounding about earlier about the merging or wherever they were doing. Mad Mac, are you siding with Fetterman? He has lost the point. I'm siding with the numbers, Mad Mac. I'm saying, okay, if the people of Pennsylvania, and this only is them, we don't have much. If you don't live there, then maybe we should shut the fuck up. But if you live in Pennsylvania and you want to primary him or vote for someone else, you better do it in a way that's going to get another Democrat in there. Are you trying to tell me that Dr. Oz would have been better than Fetterman? Because if you are, I think you need to reevaluate that. All I'm saying is, it's one thing to wave our magic wands and just want to get rid of somebody, but the reality is, who are you going to replace them with? And is it going to be a Republican? And as much as I hated Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, they were still better than any Republican. They were. Jolie says, John talking seriously about something with HBD on his head is absolutely killing me. Okay. It is kind of silly, isn't it? All right. There. Now I'm going to get serious. But now I'll probably get not serious. I don't know. DBD says it's also easy for them to ignore what the people want instead of listening to their donors and the money. Money, 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 money. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Roxanne says, don't fucking say that, then that's why it was my opinion and the governors are being treated. Why not do the same kind of fucking way government work for us? We need to fight fire with fire, in my opinion. All I'm saying is it's very easy to criticize things that maybe we don't know how difficult they actually are. Oh, okay. Vote 218. Okay, duh. Now I get it. Incoming release of files. That's right. Grijalva will be the 218. Right. Okay. Duh. See, I took off the HBD, and I'm able to think a little better. Love Dragon says, I love Nancy Pelosi. She is God to me, and I love the fact that I can buy any drug I want in the streets. That's punk rock. Wow, dude. Really? That's your deal, huh? That's the legacy of Pelosi that you're gonna come on, man. Fuck. Billy Kid, how about Maxwell getting DoorDash deliveries now? Yeah, let's make that our number one concern. Dark Leor says, what's it amounting to is that Trumpstein was a full-on trafficker. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to find out way more involved. His involvement was way more than we even imagined. DPD 5844 says, TJ, you realize that the orange pedophile is not the one calling the shots. It's Russell Vought and Nazi Miller and Greasy Bannon. And your point being, I've said that we need to direct our anger at the Republicans. I believe all those people you mentioned are Republicans. Nick Rich 1203. I'm 33 minutes behind. I'm 33 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 33 minutes behind. I'm 33 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 33 minutes behind. Because you guys don't listen to me unless I do it in song. Dark Josh C, is it someone's birthday again? Yes, it's James Jaramillo. MJ Daniel says, I'm sure Maxwell will be getting a nice job at the DOJ alongside the people that just got a pardon. That seems to be how this corrupt administration does things. I hear she is really trying to get a pardon or a commutation or something. Belfast Bob Dump pardoned 10 of his most trusted sycophants in early hours. For the kid, I think Reagan made it illegal. Yeah, that's what I said that. Of course, I am 33 minutes behind, so you might have posted that after I said it. Or before I said it. Something like that. A little something like that. A little something like that. Josh says, Bob, they were preemptive pardons too. And I believe some of those were on state charges that can't be pardoned by him. I believe some of those are state. Let me repeat that because you guys obviously don't pay attention to me. Some of those people that he pardoned were up on state crimes, indictments, charges, whatever. And he has no pardon power over that. Just so you know. Just so you knows. Look, Dragon says 5,000 years ago, the age of consent. Oh, for some reason this iPad froze up. Anyhow, Luck Dragon says 5,000 years ago, the age of consent was as soon as you are able to get pregnant. There's a reason that it took 5,000 years to figure that it's not cool. Did it take 5,000 years? There is a reason. It's called evolution. Bethany Arbaugh says, how does your coffee taste? Were you able to get the regular coffee? I did. I went to 7-Eleven, and it's good. It's back to the good one. And it was hot today. And I did one of the guys working there, because the coffee machine, the little coffee thing, it had this little, at the bottom, it had a blue light flashing. So I wanted to make sure that it was not, I wasn't sure what the blue light meant. So I just turned to the guy at the counter and I said, what's the blue light mean? And he goes, oh, it's good or something like that. I go, are you sure? I want to make sure it's good. And then he goes, yeah. I just put that in about 45 minutes ago, or I just started it or whatever. And I go, okay. And then so I poured it, and then I took a sip. I go, I want to make sure it's hot because yesterday it was lukewarm. So I took a sip and I go, oh yeah, it's really hot. And he goes, oh good. So at least I'm glad I said that to them, so that maybe they will be more conscientious of the temperature. And it is the good one. There wasn't that crappy one that I got. So I got the good coffee, and it's hot. It stays nice and warm in this cup here. Thank you for asking, Bethany. I think Bethany was like, we need to get John onto some other subject before he either has an aneurysm or alienates his entire audience. Look, Dragon says, I always enjoy watching the 49ers lose, but everybody who follows football knows that they are so injured that they have no chance. Therefore, I hope the Rams do make it to the Super Bowl. Whew. Man, no, it's either too much punctuation or no punctuation with this guy. Hey, Elisa Martinez is here. Good to see you, Elizabeth Martinez. Buenos dias, John, and to all. So, thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate it. Paul Burrows is here. Hey, there's the birthday boy from yesterday also. Paul Burrows says, I started a joke and the whole world started crying. If I'd only seen that the joke was on me. Barney Malcolm says, I don't want to be a mod, so don't ask. Okay. Roxanne says, yeah, 49ers have a lot of injuries. It's not looking good. Jolie says, you can't hear the tone of voice in the chat. I get it, but I try to always give most people the benefit of the doubt, just not if your name is Chad. Yeah, and the only reason I gave One Vision the benefit of the doubt is because, you know, we know One Vision for a long time now. Demon Dog, pineapple spaghetti. I'm thirsty. Roxanne, I had a homemade pineapple pizza last night. It's yummy, Jolie. Roxanne made a pineapple pizza, so there. Oh, I got Rams talk shows on my TV right now. Mr. Spock has an emotional support chicken. Yeah, I believe that. Hey, there's Jen at the base. Uh-oh. Now we're in trouble. Now I'm in trouble. Someone's in trouble. Jen of the base making a rare appearance. I know Jen of the base is sort of staying away because he knows he can trigger me, and he's actually looking out for me, I think, by not coming in, because Jen up the base is afraid that I'm going to probably, you know, say things that I regret and cause a big scene. So here's Jen up the base coming out of hiding, coming out of the shadows here. So, says, no, I wasn't crying watching the 49ers lose to the Rams. As luck dragged in 2012, so astutely pointed out, the 49ers are decimated. Two best defensive players out and playing their backup QB. And so that's it. That's the whole thing. Now it's my turn to talk. And it's just typical of crybaby Niners fans. Always have excuses. Always with the excuses. You guys lost. You got your asses kicked. Just own up to it. You guys suck. You're not going anywhere this year, so just like your Giants over on the baseball side, they suck too. David Duck says, I made my reservations for DC. I'll be staying 2 days this trip. All right. Mad Mac left out. I'm just winging. I don't know. I'm just reading something that was funny, but I guess I shouldn't repeat it. This is Trucker John. If I were an ignoramus like yourself, oh, thank you. I would just say, like you did, the 49ers just weren't ready to play, lashing out that you don't know football, acting like a middle school baby. So there you go. Maybe I gave Jen of the base far too much credit. Maybe he wasn't looking out for me at all. Apparently not. I never said the Rams weren't ready to play. If you're talking about maybe the meeting earlier in the year when the Niners played the Rams at SoFi and they won in overtime by 1 point, I think. I never said the Rams weren't ready to play. So if you want to take maybe you heard that from other Rams fans or other Rams shows, you can take that to those shows or to those people, but you don't take it to me, motherfucker, because I never said that. I never said the Rams weren't ready to play. I think I may have said it looked like they weren't ready to play, or they came out slow, they came out sluggish, or they looked like they hadn't really prepared, or they were overlooking the game. There was something to that element, because in the first half, the Rams in that first game looked like shit, and they didn't really start playing until the second half with any type of sense of urgency. But I never said that they weren't ready to play. And why do I even argue with you? You're a fucking you're the ignoramus. So I'm not the ignoramus. You're the ignoramus. And I never said that you don't know football. Just if you're gonna come in here, at least don't make up shit, or go either that or go back to the rock that you were under. For all you that are happy to see Gin up the base, fine, but just know that you can see what a fucking agitator is. He comes in here calling me an ignoramus and putting in quotes of things that I never said. And this is the guy you like. This is the guy you guys are all like, where's Gin up the base? Oh, where's he at? Oh, and then he comes in. Oh, it's so good to see you. The guy's a fucking asshole. He just proved himself to be an asshole. He can't help but not be an asshole. I guess, it's like Trump can't help to be whatever it is he is. People like Gin of the Base, they can't help themselves. He's been holding it for weeks and weeks, hasn't hardly come in here, and now he just can't, he couldn't hold it any longer, and he had to come in here and be a fucking asshole. If anyone's close to getting blocked, it's that motherfucker. DPD, Trucker John, I have a question. What happens the next time the Dems' backs are against the wall? If they continue to give in, where does it stop? Look, this was the longest ever shutdown, I believe, in the history of our country at 40 days. It's not like it was 3 days in and they're like, oh, we had enough. It was 40 fucking days, and it wasn't going anywhere. So, I mean, it's not like like I said, it's not like the Dems just did it for a few days and said, okay, we're through. They went 40 fucking days of this shit. So I would suspect the next time their backs are against the wall, they will do whatever they can, whatever's at their disposal. Maybe next time they'll go 50 days or something. I don't know. But 40 days is a long time. It's not like it was 2 hours and they're like, we give up. Powder Girl 911 is here. I don't know if I've seen Powder Girl 911 before. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Powder Girl says, hey, Trucker John, I heard something about a $2,000, I guess, dollar tariff dividend. Do you think that will be paid out in the next 6 months or so? I have no idea. Who knows? Trump said that as he just said it as an aside when he was talking. I think it just popped into his head. I don't know if he said that with any type of thinking or any type of, any type of preparation or anything. And then I think it was it Vought or somebody tried to walk it back and everything. So I don't know if it'll ever happen. So I wouldn't be holding my breath on that. Yeah, Nick Rich, don't expect $1. Bob LeBlanc was here, and who won the World Series? Not the GOP or a I don't even know what that is. Setagiv. I have no idea what that means. I don't even know why you brought that up. Exhausted Liberals here. Exhausted Liberal says, these fucking idiots close the government just to cave. What is the point of voting anymore? Really? Really? What is the point of voting anymore? Not voting is what got us here. People not voting a year ago in 2024 election is what got us here today. That mentality is what got us here today, is what brought us here today. Do you not see that? If people had voted in the same numbers as they did in 2020 and 2024, we would not be in this where we are now. We would not have this fucking pedophile felon in the White House right now. We would have Kamala Harris in the White House. And the government never would have shut down in the first place. And ACA premium benefits would not be in jeopardy. In fact, they would have been improved upon. The subsidies probably would have been greater. We wouldn't see all these things being taken away, all these jobs being cut, and everything just so we could pay for fucking tax breaks for the rich. We wouldn't be seeing any of this if people fucking voted. And you want to say, what's the point of voting anymore? Oh my God. I don't know how people don't see it. See the problem. The problem isn't Chuck Schumer. The problem isn't these eight senators. The problem is people not voting in the first place and getting Donald Trump in the White House in the first place. That's the fucking problem. I don't know what MTN is saying. I don't listen to them very much. But I have just sort of scrolling through, YouTube, I see a lot of these fucking liberal, leftist, lefty, progressive channels, all hair on fire, all ready to fucking crucify the hated eight, crucify Chuck Schumer. They should be fucking pissed off that people didn't vote a year ago. That's where they should be pissed off at, and that's where they should be putting their energies in, is getting people out to vote in all future elections and to vote for Democrats and stop voting for Republicans. Stop electing Republicans. That's the issue. This little thing that we just went through, that this is a symptom. This is a symptom. This is not the disease. I just put Janet Bass on a 24-hour timeout. He's one step away from being removed permanently. Nick Rich, 12:30, is 26 minutes behind. Just so you guys know, and if there's anybody new and you don't know how I do this, I go through the chat and I read it. And when I do that and I talk about it, it puts me behind. So I'm talking about stuff that happened 26 minutes ago, just in case you're confused. And Nick Rich is nice enough to put timestamps in here so every now and then, so I know how far behind I am. Troll Slayer says, yes, John, they deserve to be frustrated because it's like saying take everything you hold so dear, throw it out the window. No, it's not. No, it's not. PDG 200 LBFB, was the election rigged? I don't know. I don't think it was. You're talking about 2024? There may have been some things. There's stuff that maybe nothing's come out. Have you guys got anything? I haven't heard anything. We can speculate and speculate all we want. I will still say that if the 19 million that didn't show up in 2024 that did show up in 2020, and that's just the number. I don't know, just that number. I don't believe that we would be having this fucking orange turd in the White House right now. Directly yours. I think Kalinske was full on calling for Schumer to resign. I think it would be really bad timing. Yeah, Kyle Kalinske is another one. He's another one that that just would rather just burn everything down, I guess. Jolie, Schumer sucks. Hate the eight. Oh, I do feel better. Yeah, see, I was telling some people to go ahead and vent today. Let's vent. Let's let it out. And then tomorrow, let's get ready to get back out on the battlefield and start, metaphorically and peacefully fighting these fucking Republicans. Exhausted liberal. If you aren't far left, then you are right. The gloves are off. Bunch of pansy centrists. That's ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. It's that type of attitude that gets Republicans in power. PDG 200 LBFB, GOP are assholes? I think that's a fair assessment. Sure. Roxanne, F these corporate Dems, every single one of them. And again, maybe Democrats will never be in power again with these attitudes. Yeah, Jolie says we can't turn on each other. That's what the party of pedo protectors wants. Yeah, they're loving it. They're loving it that we turn on each other. They're the ones eating the popcorn today. We need to be the ones eating the popcorn, watching them fight each other, not the other way around. Roxanne says Fetterman is a maggot, in my opinion, unforgivable Democrat traitor. Like I said, I hope that whoever you replace him with, I hope is a Democrat and not a Republican, because he's still better than a Republican being in there, whether you want to admit it or not. He's still better than a Republican. So if you're going to replace him, make sure you can do that with getting a Democrat in there. DVD says, I think what Mad Mac is saying is that Fetterman ran as a Democrat when he ran against Oz, but ever since he won, Fetterman has constantly voted as a Republican, and that's the truth. Okay, look, I'm gonna look it up. I'm looking it up. Okay, let's just fucking look it up. I don't believe that. I'm gonna fact check you right now. My iPad's a little slow. What's going on? Why is it not? There we go. Let's see here. Goddamn, if I can fucking type. Let's see here. God dang it. Oh, I feel like punching this thing. I don't know what my iPad, what it's doing here. Damn it. I keep pushing I when I want to push O. What is going on with my iPad? Why is this taking so long to type? It's literally taking forever. Let's see if I can get John Fetterman's record or voting record here. It's searching. It says John Fetterman has recently, this is an AI overview, okay? John Fetterman has recently voted to reopen the government, breaking with some of his fellow Democrats by supporting Republican-led measures that to end the shutdown. He has been a consistent voice against shutting our government down and stated that the shutdown has more than run its course. Fetterman also voted hell no on the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, reconciliation bill. Okay. So he voted against that. Damn it. Damn it. What the fuck? What's wrong with my fucking screen? I just want his goddamn voting record. Here's government track. GovTrack. Let's see, does that give us a voting? I just want his overall fucking numbers. Come on. This is why I don't do this shit very often, because this goddamn iPad is so fucking slow. I'm just literally sitting here waiting. I'm, what the fuck? Come on. Why is this taking so long? I don't get it. I don't know what's wrong with it. This should not be taking this long to bring up a page. It says John Fetterman, he's only 56 years old. Looks older than that. I don't really care about his age. I want to know his fucking. I want to know the percentage that he votes with Democrats. Is basically what I fucking want to know. You guys are telling me that he always votes for Republicans. He never votes for Democrats. I want to know. Give me a fucking percentage. And why is my fucking iPad a piece of shit right now? It's just like I try to. It won't move. Why is it not telling me? Why is it not scrolling? God, what a piece of crap this thing is. It's like frozen. God dang it. It's like totally frozen. Okay. Anyhow, from what they have a weird chart with all these little dots on it. I just want a fucking number. I don't want a fucking chart. And I don't want the 2024 report card. I want the 2025 report card. This is pissing me off. This is really pissing me off. And now I can't. I'm trying to go back to my YouTube page, and it won't let me do that. What the fuck? Piece of crap. I'm pushing buttons and nothing's working. Well, I tried to look it up, but I've got obviously shit that doesn't work. I think Fetterman votes with Democrats. I'm sure an overwhelming majority of the time. So where did I leave off? Oh, with Roxanne, I think. Now it just disappeared. God dang it! Everything's disappearing. There's something wrong with my iPad. There's something seriously wrong with my iPad because I'm doing all kinds of weird shit. I don't know where I'm at in the chat now. Big Hook was here. I didn't see him before. Big Hook says when Trump isn't worried and says Elon knows those voting machines very well, it's hard not to suspect that the fix was in. We can suspect all we want. Give me some fucking proof. Josh C says the place next to this Mexican restaurant always has a sign outside saying half-price sushi. Doesn't make any sense if it's always half-priced. And why is a Mexican restaurant selling sushi? That's what I'm wondering about. Petrazi. So here I am at the $5 super chat. Thank you, Petrazi. Yippee, going out to Petrazi. Sorry for that delay and things. My equipment sucks. I tried to go, and it was just glitching out or something. I don't know. Blah blah fact check, baby. It was frustrating. DBDA says, "I swear to you, TJ, I would not lie." Because say one of you that has a good computer that doesn't glitch out. Give me the fucking number on Fetterman. What's his percentage of voting with Democrats? We're on an honor system. I guess I gotta trust you and believe you. Give me the number. Give me the fucking number. And I'll be willing to bet that whatever the number is still higher than any fucking Republican you're going to put in there or get in there. Josh C says, pretty sure Fetterman votes 95% with the Dems. There you have it. I trust you, Josh. And that's what I was going to say. It's probably going to be in the 90s. And so we can fuck around and we can primary his ass, but we better primary him with someone that's going to win. And you can find that out, I guess, through polling. And, you can take the temperature down there in Pennsylvania. But I'm just saying. Josh C says, I see TJ going Office Space on his iPad in the near future would be a good short. I know that show Office Space. I mean, the movie. I'm not sure of the reference, though. Belfast Bob, he's voted 95%. See? Okay. Big Hook, Texas Paul seems to have the best take on things. Unfortunately, Republicans are willing to sacrifice the nation to finally end the ACA. They always destroy the economy and the social safety net. Troll Slayer says, John, can you say closeted Democrat? A Republican can run, then say I'm a Democrat, then vote for Republicans, fooling everyone. But that's not what Fetterman does. If Fetterman is voting 95% with the Democrats, then I don't think that's the case for him. Okay? I don't think that's the case. Hey, Christina Sungo Squad is here. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Christina says, oh my God, I don't know how I woke up so late and then got caught up making a video. I'm so lost, I lost track of time. It happens. It happens, Christina. That's for sure. Blah, blah, blah. Eject disc now. Yeah, I don't have a disc. MJ Daniel, banging on the table really hard. That might work. I know. I was losing it. Belfast Bob, 95%. Yep, thank you. Dr. Leor's Heritage rates Fetterman 11%, low, dim, and higher is... Wait. Heritage rates Fetterman 11%, low, dim, and higher is Republican? Maybe. If Heritage doesn't like Fetterman, that's a good sign. Aren't Heritage, isn't that a right-wing think tank? Jeff Curry says, turn it off and on. Okay, this is when I was having my troubles with my stupid iPad. Exhausted Liberal, that's 7% too much. Exhausted Liberal says, according to Heritage Foundation, Fetterman votes with Republicans 7% of the time. Well, according to the other folks, it would only be 5% of the time. I know you're one of those purity police. You want everything 100% pure. Only what you think should be 100%. It only matters what you think and not what anybody else thinks. There's 8 billion people on the planet, but fuck it. Exhausted Liberal knows what's best. Exhausted Liberal knows what's best for everyone. And fuck everyone else. Only Exhausted Liberal's opinion counts. And the fucking hell with everyone else. Right? Am I right? I'm right, aren't I? About that issue. Mad Mac, all caps, Fetterman voted for Bondi. Would a no vote have kept her out? Or got us anyone better in a Trump administration? Are we going to really keep fighting that over and over again? Exhausted Liberal, weak ass. Milquetoast Democrat, shut it down, opened it up, got nothing in the process. My last fucking straw. I told my mom losing her snap was worth it because we were in the something fight. Wrong fight? We were in the wrong fight? I don't know. Learn how to type, dude. Yeah. Good of you to tell your mom she doesn't need any food. That's good. Good of you to put that on her, you know. Exhausted Liberal, I haven't been able to talk to her yet. Yeah, probably because she's fucking starving to death. I haven't been able to talk to her since last night. Not sure what to tell her. Fucking embarrassing. Tell her that she's going to get some snap back. Or some snap. She's going to get some food soon, okay? Maybe she'll be fucking happy. Christina says, hi, Bethany. Good to see you and good to see everyone. I see John's in a fabulous mood. Yes, I am. Fabulous. Lady Jacques, I'm late again, but hey, Lady Jacques, Karen Ames from Victorville. Better late than never. Jolie says, just wasted a trip out to the freezing cold and to the mailbox for junk mail. I always have to check because I order things at night when I'm high and forget. So mailbox trips can be like Xmas. Yeah. It's like, oh, I ordered this. Yeah. Exhausted liberal, all this. Let's not infight. Well, guess what? When the Democrat Party, see, you're not even a Democrat. You don't call the Democratic Party the Democrat Party. You're just a troll. Anyhow, it says when the Democrat Party is weak, then liberals need to step in and take it over. Plain and simple. Fuck. Yeah. Well, and then you wonder why we lose elections. It's because of people like that. It's because of people like this exhausted liberal. DPD, I'm sorry I got you. No, DPD, you're fine. You're the least of my worries. There's other people in here. But DPD, you said it's 7%. Well, how do you? I don't know how people are saying it was 95%. So that would be 5%. So I don't know. Why are we getting different numbers? Why are we getting different numbers? It's either 5% or 7%. It can't be both. Unless we're talking about different years or something. I don't know. Mad Max says, TJ, when you played football, did you just give up and quit when you were behind, or did you keep fighting? It's a false equivalency. Or did you keep fighting alongside your teammates with victory as your goal? That's a real false equivalency. Football did teach me to keep going and to not give up, no matter how much I wanted to quit. But it also taught me that sometimes I need to stop and rest, that I can't just keep going. So maybe it was a good analogy. Football did teach me that there were times when I couldn't just keep running 100-yard sprints in this league. I had to take a breather. I had to stop every now and then, or else I was going to die of a heart attack. So there, how do you like that? How do you like them apples? Was us liberal, and what do I tell my mom we gained for her struggling? Answer that my pragmatist can tell you ain't hurting for food. Some of us were willing to suffer for the win. Bunch of shit. We went 40 days, motherfucker. Do you think another 40 days would have done anything? Besides just another 40 days without SNAP benefits, another 40 days without pay? Do you think the Republicans would have said, "Oh, do you think they would have?" They weren't going to, but I guess we'll never know. And it's just, I think we can stop and take a breather so we don't have a heart attack, and we can regroup. Sometimes you got to regroup and find other tacks or find other ways. Major Daniel, 6 to 7%. All right. Whether it was 5% for Fetterman, 6%, 7% where he voted with the Republicans, I guarantee it is a hell of a lot better than a Republican getting in there who's going to vote with Democrats probably close to 0% of the time. And will be voting with Republicans close to 100% of the time. That's my fucking point. My point is we can say primary Schumer, primary Fetterman, primary the hated eight, all we want. But we better goddamn well be sure that we replace them with Democrats. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm fucking saying. Soulcraft, keep those legs churning. I was a lineman. I know about leg drive. Christina's Sun Go Squad says, my daughter always votes for the third party. Unfortunately, I understand because she truly believes in those people, and some of them are very good, but they don't win. Then it's like giving it to Trump. Yeah, especially, like if you're in New York or California, I guess it probably doesn't matter, because those are states that are pretty reliably blue. So if you voted for a third party in California or New York and maybe a couple of other states, it probably doesn't matter. But if you're in a swing state or a close state where every vote really, it really, really is important, then that's when it can be problematic. Lady Jonka says, still no guarantee that the government will open. They still have to vote on it, and then Trump has to sign it. Did it not go to a vote yet? I thought they opened it up. Doug Lior says it might be best this way. The majority blames the right for the shutdown. Dems made the call to end the standoff because the other side would never budge no matter how much it hurt their people. I think the minority blames the right for the shutdown. Mad Mac, I think more maggots would have put pressure on Republicans to end it the longer it went on. I donated extra to food banks this last month, and I know of others that did the same. I don't think you're wrong, Mad Mac. I don't think that you're wrong. And I think maggots, as they start losing their SNAP benefits and they start losing, if they're on the ACA or whatever, and they see their rates tripling and quadrupling. But I don't know if the Republicans, I guess we'll never know now. I don't think the Republicans ever were going to come off of that until either Trump or, as others have mentioned, the people that are really running the government, like Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon and was it Russell Vought and those guys, they don't give a fuck. They're all very, very rich. One of them is a billionaire there. I think Vaught's the billionaire. I think Bannon and Miller are probably millionaires at this point. Trump is a so-called billionaire, so they don't give a fuck. They really don't give a fuck, and the maggots need to learn from this. This should be an eye-opener for the maggots, and I think more and more of them are kind of peeling away to where I'm not saying they're going to turn around and vote for Democrats, but they might just check out completely and not even vote in the next elections. But waiting another 10 or 20 or 30 days, and then they go into these Thanksgiving recesses and Christmas recesses. I don't know if we could have withstood. I think it just would have got more and more and more terrible and terrible for a lot of people. You saw the food lines, and you did donate to food lines. That's great, but it's still not enough. At the scale that it's going to be millions and millions of people without food. And donating to food lines and things is great. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. But it would never be to the scale needed for this food insecurity that we have. Lady Jocka says the Senate made changes from the original House passage. And I think I saw those changes, and I thought, I don't remember what they were, but I remember thinking that's not too bad. I didn't think. I don't know. Jorgen Johansson is here. It says, TJ, some people believe in speaking donkey, in a speaking donkey in the Bible. Why shouldn't they believe in Dumbo? Was there a speaking donkey in the Bible? I don't remember that. Was that like? Are you thinking from the Christmas show, The Little Drummer Boy, and the Christ was born in the stable, and were the donkeys talking? Anyhow, like I said, let's get it out. Let's get all of our anger and anguish out. Let's vent it out today. And then tomorrow, like with the football analogy that I like to use, Mad Mac. Okay, I'm gonna take a breather. We used to do 2-a-days during Hell Week, and we didn't practice all day. We didn't practice 12 hours. We'd get up and we'd start practice at 7 or 6 or 7 in the morning. Do like 3 hours of during Hell Week. You're basically just busting your guts, just running and running and running like crazy. Then you go home, and you know what we did? We went home and we fucking took naps and shit. And then in the evening, about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, we came back out and did it again for 3 hours, busting our fucking guts. But we had to have a break in between, or else we would have fucking all died. I don't care if we were all 15 and 16 years old and in good shape and and all this kind of shit. We would have all fucking died if we hadn't stopped and went home and took a nap or took a break or took a shower or well, of course we showered, but took some Gatorade and had something to eat. I thought Exhausted Liberal was one of us, but apparently is just a fucking commie. So yeah, get the fuck out, bitch. Mr. Spock, didn't the donkey have Mike Myers' voice? No, that was Eddie. That was Eddie Murphy's voice. The donkey was Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy. Mike Myers was the fucking troll dude, whatever he's called. He's the one who went donkey. Donkey. Yeah, Mike Myers was the big green guy. Like a McAndrews. We get knocked down, we get up again. Right, exactly. That's a great song. Christina Sungo Squad says, Jolie, I think people voted for third party Chris. He was good. My daughter loved him. He didn't get enough media, and I think that's also the problem. They just poo-poo them. He got more votes than Kamala. Who's Chris? I don't even know who Chris is. Billy Kid, Eddie Murphy. Yeah, Eddie Murphy was the donkey. Donkey. Yeah, Shrek. Yeah, Billy Kid. Yeah, Mike Myers was Shrek. But wasn't he an ogre? He was an ogre. He wasn't a troll. He was an ogre, right? Lady Jaga says there's no guarantee that the House or Senate will revisit the ACA premiums if the government opens. Also, they want to end ACA, so this gives Republicans the win. Yeah, and like I said, they weren't going to give in on that, I don't believe. ACA was going to be dead no matter what. And that's what we're going to hold out for a year, until a year and a half, until the next Congress is seated. I don't see that happening. I guess it was a game of chicken to see who would blink first, or a game of. I'm mixing my games. What's the game where you stare? Just stare at people and don't blink? Well, I guess the Democrats blinked first. Okay. But in the meantime, in the real world, okay, we're using analogies, game analogies, but in the real world, people are suffering. Like I said from the very beginning of this fucking episode, you have to balance it out. It's a balancing act. How many people over here do we got to hurt to save the people over here? And when one side is bigger than the other, then where it's really uneven, that's where you got to start to say, okay, this isn't working. Maybe we need to take a break. Try again some other way. Gorilla in the Mist says, how you doing? I am also Klato Bratonitko. Hello, Klato Bratonitko. I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming on in. Mad Max says there's a difference between physical ability and needing a rest and mental ability to keep the... Well, then you shouldn't have brought the football analogy into it. Okay, don't come after me now and say one is physical and one is mental. You're the one that fucking brought up the football analogy. So I'm not even going to read the rest of your post. You can't have it both ways. Jürgen Johansson says there's a speaking donkey in the Old Testament in some of the Moses books. Well, there was a talking snake, so I don't... so I guess maybe it's not too far-fetched that there's a talking donkey. Purple She-Ra says, damn, TJ, we have every right to be pissed as fuck, especially in our reps who are, like I said, be pissed, be angry, vent it out, but by tomorrow we need to come together because the Republicans want us fighting each other. They love it that we are fighting each other instead of fighting them. The more time that we can spend fighting each other is less time spent on fighting them. Okay, we tried it. We shut down the government for 40 fucking days and it wasn't working. It wasn't going to work. People aren't being paid. People aren't being fed for 40 fucking days. Are we supposed to do another fucking 40 days? Do you think that we could have gone another 40 motherfucking days? I don't. I mean, some of you want us, I guess some of you want everything to go to shit. Because then we will truly see a fucking revolution, and that's maybe you guys are right. I don't know. Mr. Spock, it was a fumble. Keeping up with the football analogy. Mad Max says if Fetterman voting for Bondi wouldn't have changed anything, as you suggested, why do we keep fighting for the release of the Epstein files? Because that might actually get people to wake up who are Trump followers. I mean, they're already saying that it's mainly the maggots that have kept this issue alive, at least from this year. They're the ones that are really, really adamant, because that was what Trump ran on, was releasing the Epstein files. That was one of the things he ran on. And so the maggots are like, okay, release the fucking files. You said you were going to do it. As far as getting him out of office, I don't know. Would he get impeached? Probably not. Is he going to end up in prison? Probably not. So you're right. I guess you're right. Maybe it doesn't change anything. But I think it is more important than just who Fetterman voted for, because she was going to win no matter what. I mean, besides just that one vote. But releasing the Epstein files, you're going to see Trump's approval rating go from 36% to about 10%, probably. Lady Lake, we will still protest and vote. Absolutely. Protest, vote. This doesn't change any of that. James Arabia. Sorry we ruined your birthday, James. Sorry we ruined your birthday. But thanks for being here. I hope you'll come back again, and I hope you have a good birthday today. Jorgen Johansson got to make a derogatory comment about football, so I'll just skip it. Troll Slayer says, Shrek, get your tuchus out of my fucking swamp. Did he say that? Mr. Spock says, popular opinion was it was the Republicans' fault. Why would you cave with public support? It's illogical. That's a good question, Spock. Mr. Spock. Trustee says, TBH, to be honest, it's only a matter of time before the MAGA base J6ers turn on them. Especially if Epstein files gets released, unredacted and completely. Christina Sun Ghost Squad says, I think literally the blue states could have fed all people without the government by withholding federal taxes. I don't even know if you can do that, though. We always say that, but I want to find out, how do you do that? We can wiggle our nose, wave our magic wand, snap our fingers, hope that it's something that we can do, but I don't even know if that's even physically possible to do. So I wish someone could give me something on that. Anyhow, and they could have left the government closed, and we could have screwed Republicans. I think the blue states barely had enough to feed their own states, let alone all the red states. It cost, well, for the total program nationwide, from what I read, I think it's $8 billion a month to fund SNAP. So I don't know. Did the blue states have $8 billion a month collectively? Lady Jocko, I have to go to the food bank with my daughter. Have a good day. You too, Lady Jocko. Thank you, Karen Ames. Have a good day. Yeah, get that food while it's there. All right, guys. I knew this would be a touchy subject today. And I knew that I was going to be in the minority with my opinion. Me and Texas Paul. And that's okay. And I don't think that you guys are necessarily wrong. I mean, You make a lot of good points, and boy, it's really getting dark all of a sudden. I just think that overall, though, that we were, like I say, that whole balancing act. It comes down to, are we going to, hurt 100 million people to save 25 million people, something like that. But anyhow, I'm going to have to end the show. I've been going 2 hours and 34 minutes. I got stuff I got to do, folks. I want to thank you guys for being here. But just remember, this is the fucking asshole that we got. This, oh shit, damn it. I hate technology. Hi! Come on, go back down. There you go. This is our fucking leader. I know Stephen Miller, Steve Bannon, Steve Vaught, whoever else could be, who's really pulling this guy's strings and shit. We're kind of seeing what we didn't see with Ronald Reagan. Like Ronald Reagan was able to hide his Alzheimer's a little bit. Those last 2 years, nut morning, yeah. But Trump's not able to hide what's going on with him. He can't stay awake. He couldn't even stay awake during his trials that from a year ago and 2 years ago. And now it's just getting worse and worse. He's in a fucking meeting. This is the same meeting where the guy fell over and kind of interrupted his nap. This is the guy we've got. We might not have to put up with him much longer. And when he goes, I think MAGA goes. I think it all goes. Regardless of the shutdown and the whole thing, let's just do our best to hang in there long enough to get these fuckers out of power. Let's hang in there to the midterm congressional elections. Let's hang in there to 2028. Let's see if we can turn it around and make a difference. We've got to hang together. We've got to stay together. And we got to realize that it's not always going to be the ideal thing that we think, or it's not always going to be 100% the way we want it. Life is full of compromises. And we can't just run 100-yard sprints without some rest in between. When I was in football, we would do 100-yard bear crawls. We would do 100-yard just full-on sprints. We'd do 100-yard burpees or 100-yard up downs over and over and over and over again until we were ready to die. And our coach knew how far to push us, and then he'd give us a break and he'd give us a water break. Sometimes we need to take a water break. In a football game, they have halftime. You might be getting shit kicked out of you at halftime. You go in, and the coaches break it down. They do the X's and O's, and they tell you what you're doing wrong, or you tell you what they're doing and what you need to do, how you make adjustments. I've been in games where we were getting beat in the first half, and we came out in the second half and turned it around and won. I've been in games where the first half I played like shit, and the second half I played fucking great. We're still alive. We're still here. We're still kicking. We can live, and we're here to live to fight another day, and we're not giving up the fight. Because of this, what might be a setback, it doesn't mean that we've completely quit and given up. We have not, and we will not. And I truly believe that. All right, guys, thanks for being here. I'll be here tomorrow, which is Tuesday, so 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I can yell at you guys, and you can yell at me all over again. All right, guys. You guys take care. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Yeah, please hit that subscribe button. If you guys haven't done that yet, I don't care. Just do it. It's a good thing to do. It doesn't cost you a dime. Hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. And every time you subscribe to a show like Trucker John, it makes Trump sleepier, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Yeah, guys, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys very much for being here. I appreciate you. Remember, purple power, baby, purple power. I'm here to tell you we're going to turn all the red states and districts, at the very least, purple. And then we're going to turn purple to blue. And then we're going to blue, whatever. I don't know. I get lost in that whole thing. But purple, I'm purple. So let's at least get the red states purple. That's my job, is to get the red states purple. So if you guys can help me with that, that would be great. Anyhow, guys, look at this. Happy birthday. Anyhow, how'd that happen? My beard went away. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Talk to you guys later. All right, Paul, thanks a lot. Thank you, guys. Now all that's left to do is the words of wisdom, and it's going to be a good one. So you might want to write this down, get something to write with, and paper, pen, write this down. It's probably going to have something to do. I'm predicting a football analogy here. So are you guys ready? You guys ready for the words of wisdom? All right, here we go. All right, guys. So just remember.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win. Right here on the Trucker John Livestream. Know it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big.